talking about your upline, talking about the team. And, you know, with the CDs that are out today and stuff like that, it's so easy to be able to say, hey, look, I can give you a couple concepts, but listen to this. So you don't have to be that. Here's what's cool. You get to be you. And here's what I do know. With every person out, I had to realize this. It took me getting married to realize this. I used to think everybody liked me, and if they didn't, they had a problem. It wasn't my problem. You know, I found out after I got married that all males think that way. It wasn't just me. But one of the things that I have realized for real is that you don't have to be anybody else. You just need to work consistently and persistently on becoming the best you. Because there's people out there that are going to relate to you better than they can relate to me and Karen. There's people out there that are going to relate to Brad and Kim better than they're going to relate to Scott and MJ. That's the beauty of our system. That you don't have to be the alpha and the omega. You don't have to be everything for everybody. You're just required to constantly work on improving you. So I do know that. I know that I go into talks and there are people out there like, I don't like the guy last month, you know, or I don't like this CD. And I teach my new people that. That I'm, you know, when I hand out, I never give a person a CD, by the way. Okay, this is the teaching part. I always give them multiple CDs. Because I don't know what they're going to relate to, who they're going to like, who they're not going to like. But I do teach them from the beginning is the fact that you're not going to like everybody you hear. I prepare them for that and let them know. But the good thing is when you have 100 or you have 1,000 people on your team, actually there'll be some people that don't really think you're real hot either. Well, you know what? That's cool. You'll throw it in the back of your trunk and be like, oh, whatever, you know, but you'll have a guy on your team who listens to that and, oh, that's the greatest guy I ever got in. He's awesome. I want to meet that guy. Now, that's what's so awesome about this system. I'm going to let Karen talk to you guys. She's going to talk about volume. She's going to talk about how she meets people and stuff like that. But you know people that are going to get in the business and have a real big business. There's people on your list of names right now. Now, I know you've told your upline this is as big as it is. Right. Okay. We know that there's people on your list of names that are still in your brain and you haven't written them down. It's called a chicken list. It's called not just a chicken list, it's a judgment list. You have a judgment list too. I think everybody has a chicken list, but I believe everybody, it's the first time I ever said that, but I think everybody has a judgment list too. They wouldn't be interested in this. They wouldn't be interested in that. Watch this. Sir, your first name? Devon. He said you're pretty new in business? How long you been around the team? 2 to 3 days? Holy cow, and you're sitting here Saturday. Give Devon a hand. Devon, right? Nice to meet you. All right. They sat him on the front row because you know good and well 2 to 3 days, as hot as it is, he'd have left about an hour ago. I'm with you, Devon. This is crazy. What'd you do today? I sat in a scalding hot room and I saw this company from the side. I couldn't even understand them, but man, you ought to see what they're doing for money. All right. All right, watch this, Devon. Underneath my hand is a business opportunity, okay? It's not a couple of work with me, all right? Underneath, no magic trick either. He's like, all right, where is this going on? I'm going to pull a bunny out of this bad boy in a second. Watch it. All right, underneath my hand is an opportunity to make an additional $40,000 to $50,000, okay? Hey, look, I work at Bank of America, all right? There's 210,000 employees where I work, okay? 210,000. All right. The top 10 employees roughly make as much money as all 210,000 of them combined. Okay. The CEO, now I'm not saying is undeserving. He might be in here in the room. Okay. But last year he made $19 million. Okay. Not bad. You know, for a job. All right. The following year they gave him a raise to $25 million. Do you know we've had a freeze on income in my department at Bank of America for all 3 years that I've been in that department? Isn't that crazy? So now you're with me because Devon was like, okay, now I got his, he's like, crap. So we're going to get you out of that. Underneath my hand is an opportunity to make an additional $50,000 outside of what you're doing full time. Okay? I've already done it or I'm working with a team of people that have done it. Devon, okay? It's in your spare time. It's going to take work. It's going to take effort. But if you follow our program, you have the opportunity to make an additional $50,000 outside of what you're doing full time. Right on? Okay? Devon, do you care what's underneath my hand? You know, do you really care what the actual opportunity is? No. Make an additional $50,000. If it's nothing but toothpicks underneath your hand, I'd be interested in seeing how you're doing it. Right on? You don't work where you work now because you love it. You work there because they pay you. If somebody, my cousin said, Brian, I can teach you how to make an additional $50,000 outside of what you're doing full time. It's legal and ethical. I didn't really care. Here's my point of all that. You guys are trying to figure out who'd be interested in sitting in a hot room on Saturday. Nobody. Who'd be interested in coming to a meeting, staying up late and eating food late night? Nobody. Who'd be interested in listening to a CD versus talk radio? Nobody. Okay? But what we're interested is becoming multimillionaires and being young, wealthy, and free. How many of you guys are interested in that? Yeah. We do the X's and O's. We show up on a Saturday because of what it has the potential to produce in our lives. That's why we're here. A lot of you guys are hot and you forget that. Okay? It's not who would be interested in Quick Start. By the way, how many of you guys think that buying from yourself and getting paid to do it is the most logical way to make money ever created? Okay. I take my money and I used to go here and nobody paid me. I take that same money and I go over here and now they pay me. Got two options now the rest of your life. If somebody says, no, my daddy didn't, he didn't make money that way. My grandfather, they never done that. I don't know. That's not how my friends are making money. Do you care? No, it doesn't change. So, I don't know where I was going with all that, but that was on my heart, okay? Sometimes I just do that, we got, what's that? I got an awesome wife. All right, here's my point. Then it's going to get good. Hang on, I don't always do this. He just got his pilot's license. He spent the past 3 weeks in northern Michigan, not with his team, not doing anything, but looking for a giant house on the lake in Michigan with his wife. I mean, they have I don't know if I can say, they have a lifestyle, dude. I'm telling you, he lives in a big neighborhood. There's a lot of houses like that. A lot of the NASCAR players. Any of you guys heard of Julius Peppers? Okay, plays line for the Carolina Panthers, lives right around the corner from him. The only difference between Doug and Amy and the rest of his neighbors is they ain't got jobs. How cool is that? They don't leave early in the morning to make a mortgage payment, to pay for that big house, all right? He's younger than I am. By the way, the reason he's living in that giant house is he has one of my fraternity brothers in his downline who has 1,300 people in his organization, and I didn't call him. Y'all fell right in with the punch. That was awesome. Yeah, there's a guy named Joe Devine. I prejudged Joe. He was a fraternity brother of mine. He was a couple years behind me, but he was drinking beer 8 nights a week. That means all of them, and then some earlier than, 6, 7 o'clock. Man, he's too young. I was a senior. Then I'd gone to graduate school. He's freshman and sophomore in college, and I had called all my age group in college, but remember I tried to explain the whole plan on the phone call? And I had bumped into Joe, and now I knew what I was doing with the business and how to properly talk to people. I'll tell you guys what I say in a second, okay? I'll teach on that. But the point is I prejudged him. I said he wouldn't be interested in something like that. He's still running around doing party thing, this, that, and the other. I go to one of these major conferences. I walk up at the conference. I'm going to get nachos or something like that, right? It's during one of the videos, not a speaker. But anyway, I'm getting some nachos, and Joe's walking towards me. And I'm like, oh. Then I'm thinking, well, maybe he got in before me. Not likely, but he's younger and everything. No. He's walking toward me. Hey, bro, I just got started. I'm like, okay, great, man. That's awesome. Now, you guys understand there's a difference between somebody getting registered and then somebody actually doing something with it. Devon, you look like, did you ever play sports growing up? All right. Athletes will understand this, okay? There's a big difference between getting a gym membership and actually getting in shape. About 90% of the people that join the gym in January by March aren't going. Why? Because they don't have a why. I'd like to get in shape and this, that, and the other. You know what happens? 2 weeks. You're in there. And then when you miss, it's easy to miss again. It's easy to miss again. And it's easy to miss again. The number one thing you have to do is get a great big burly why. Here's one of the things that I challenge my team. Write down how you'd ultimately want to live your life, that the only way you could actually live it is by building this business. Doing things like her spending time with her grandmother and just because there's a lot of things money can do, but having a lot of money usually it means less free time. All right, so think about that. That's your homework assignment. Write down stuff that you want to live, how you want to live, that just money alone won't even allow you to live that way. Does that make sense to you guys? It's called having a why. So anyway, I see him 8 months later. He's a new 4,000. No, I'm not a platinum yet. You understand that if you're non-platinum, a 4,000 leg would help you go 7,500 points. I'm like, oh, God bless you. Next time I see him, man, we're trucking now, Brian. We've moved up to Pennsylvania, and Steve and Lori Fraticangeli, they're in my downline. Oh, that's awesome. God bless. That's good. Good. I was doing a meeting in Richmond one time. To everybody out there that's in your sphere of influence. You're not going back and think about people, who have I not seen in 3 to 4 to 5 years? All right? You got to think about anybody and everybody. So I believe people always talk about the chicken list, but there's also a judgment list that everybody has. Well, I don't know if this could help them out. Well, she's just starting her job. She's only been here a week or so. Let her get her feet in the job and stuff like that. Who knows, man? Maybe she should have gone somewhere else to work the following week. Here's a window of opportunity. I'm going to let Karen share with you guys, and here's how we build the business. This is just us. Here's one of the things that I always teach my team. Never confuse general teaching with personal counsel. Okay? You need to get a game plan with your mentor, your coach, all right? So I'm going to teach you some of the things that we're doing. Here's how we run our business. We're business partners. We're going diamond together. Okay? She has 1,000 personal PV circle. You understand how I didn't say I have it or we? She has 1,000 personal PV, and I eat about probably 150 PV a month myself, but so 850 PV outside of me, she's created with customer volume. She has like 18, 19 monthly XX customers. All right, that's pretty cool. Now, here's what I wanted to tell you guys. She's not done that to be an example to the team. A lot of people say, well, I want to be the right example for my team. Okay, isn't 12 XX customers already a good enough example? 15, you got it. 20, you got it. Why has she done that? Because on a daily basis, we do whatever we can to grow our business, and our business includes adding IBOs and creating volume. Everybody wants to shortcut the shortcut. Here's a tip. This is the shortcut, the system. Sometimes it means being hot on a Saturday afternoon. Devin, you're trying to make it in the NFL, and your training camps in South Carolina, like the Carolina Panthers. Don't you think it's hot right now doing 2-a-days? Why do they do it? Because they want to be pro football players more than they want to be anything else. I wanted to be a diamond more than anything else. That's why I was willing to give up a Saturday. I didn't necessarily want to be a diamond. You can clap for that. I wanted the lifestyle that I saw the diamonds had, and nobody else out there I knew were teaching people how to live that way. It's one thing to know people who have time and money. It's another thing to meet people who are willing to teach you how to have time and money. Here's why she does it. Because she's a business owner, and it's easier to stay in the mode than get in the mode and out of the mode, in the mode and out of the mode. So every single day, she's bringing names and numbers of me, of people she's met as well. Hey, man, she'll talk about what she says, okay? She's, hey, every time I go to drink an excess, that excess is sold already. Taking double, I sold that today. I went to pet the dog last week. No, I think I got a customer who wants to buy our dog, okay? I'm not going to, I got my own Ditto now, Brad, my own Ditto. It's mine. It says my Ditto on there and sits in my room and nobody touches it. Those are my cans of excess and you ain't selling them. They're mine. I have mine written on the boxes out there. And she's like, I'm going to sell them if you don't drink them. I'm chugging 3 a day, just. But she's an awesome completer, and she's 100% business owner. So here's my girl, Karen.
Thank you. Well, I just want to kind of back it up a couple of months ago, and because volume has not always been my strongest point. And as a matter of fact, it was my absolute weakest point. Brian and I, everything we do in our life, we play to the highest standard, not just in the business. Everything that we do, we live to the highest standard. Because in my opinion, you can't be halfway in something over here and then 100% over here. It's a way of life. And so I just happened to be, thinking about some things one day and realized that my customer volume was terrible. And the reason why was because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to create customers. I didn't really care, as long as I could either report my 50 PV rule, right? And I would justify it by saying, oh, we're giving that away in gift baskets, in the gift bags. Or it was like really, really easy customer volume to get, like my mom would want something and she would tell me and I'd go on and get it for her. So as long as it was very convenient for me to do, then I would do it. But I never would get out of my comfort zone in that area and stretch myself. And that really, if you're a winner and you realize you're playing halfway in something, it's really going to frustrate you. So I want to take you guys through kind of the thought process of how I've gotten to where I have in the customer volume area. And then I'm going to go over into how that's transferred into me contacting for IBOs, for prospects in our business. So the first thing I had to do about what I was saying to myself as far as selling, I guess you want to call it. And because it would be before, I hate selling. I don't want to sell anything. I'm not a salesman. I don't know how to sell, that sort of thing. And I realized what you put into your brain, what you're programming your subconscious for, is what is going to come out. And so if you're constantly feeding that negative, you're going to believe that negative. And if you have the opportunity presented for you to do something, all of a sudden that negative is going to kick in and you're going to miss that opportunity. So the first thing I started doing when I woke up is reprogramming my thoughts. Now, I love selling. I am a salesman, yes. And I felt like a complete idiot, but it's okay, it worked. And then the second thing is obviously the words that were coming out of my mouth, because not only was I thinking those negative thoughts, but I would speak them as well. Be like, oh, I don't sell, I just, whatever. And so my words, I had to start speaking positives. I'm a PV creating machine. Everywhere I go, people want what I have. I am awesome at talking about our products. I am a confident salesman. So I'm starting to reprogram myself and reprogram my subconscious, which made it very, very easy for my eyes to be opened up to those opportunities everywhere I went. And so that was the first part. The second part was getting out of my comfort zone and going to do something. I think the hardest thing for people is to start doing something, because you can have all kind of great ideas, you can have great intentions, but it's actually taking the step to action that really holds most people back. And it could be a fear of failure, it could be a fear of success, it could be just a fear of, well, I don't know what to say or what to do, so I'm not going to do anything. So I really had to just get over that and just go do something. And here's the thing, I was terrible. I had no idea what I was doing or saying, but every single time I did it, it was try, fail, adjust, just like every single thing you do in this business. You are going to be terrible at every aspect of this business until you go do it. That's how you learn how to do anything, try, fail, adjust. So I didn't let that fear of failure or the fear of looking stupid stop me, because I was more afraid of not living up to my potential than I was fear of failing at what I was trying to do. So then the next thing I did was start looking around at my sphere of influence. Now, my sphere of influence, I go to the gym pretty much 4 or 5 days a week to work out. That's how I start my day. And so those are the people that I have to work with. When I had a job, it was a little different. Those were my people, my sphere of influence. And this is just a tip if you're for working a job, is if you don't want to correlate yourself with owning a business there are so many people bring their little party magazines to work and everything they're selling. Just put it on a friend. Just say, hey, I have a friend who's selling these awesome products. I'm about to put in this order. If there's anything in here you want, you let me know. This stuff is the best. And that's an outside promotion. So, and that worked out great. But so from being in the gym, and my personality, phlegmatic, is I'm like, don't talk to me. Just, I'm going in to do my thing, and I don't know you, don't talk to me. And, and then I'm leaving. Just everybody just do their own thing. And so I really had to get out of my comfort zone and start talking to people and start being nice to people and just being friendly. And one of the things that I had to really sit down and think about is, how do I guide a conversation? That is key to doing, whether contacting for a prospect or a customer, guiding the conversation. Because if you can get somebody complaining about being tired or, their joints ache or whatever it is, as soon as they start complaining, that's your in. That's when you can make that transition and go for it. So, like for instance, if somebody's tired and I get them talking about it, yeah, I know how you feel, blah, blah, blah. And then I say, do you take a multivitamin? And they're either yes or no. Either they need to because they're not, or they are, which is an even easier sell. And my direct response, I have something you have got to try. Not, oh, well, I own this business and we have this vitamin and it's really good and maybe I could get you a sample. Nobody wants that. You're like, whatever. No, you have something they have got to try. That's as simple as it is. And I bring them a 10-day supply and the XX information sheet, and every single person has bought from me. Every single one. So Learn how to turn, and here's the thing, I didn't know any of these people. It's all C-list people that I've created this volume with. So learning how to turn a C-list into a B-list, and it might take a couple times of talking with that person, letting them know that you're there and that you see them on a daily basis, talk to them. So turning that C list into a B list and guiding the conversation. And here's the thing, it's not just one product. We have everything to offer anybody. So one of the things that I was doing creating volume is, who do I know? Who do I know? Who do my parents know? Who are business owners that I could set up appointments with? Who owns a gym that I could get the excess in? Just rack your brain on who do you know and who do your people know. And that's going to be your key list. You guys hear a list of building the business? Make a list of creating customer volume as well. And that'll help you get thinking about that. As far as the samples and the professional literature, I know a lot of times people get hung up on they don't want to give a 10-day supply. That's $20. Or they don't want to buy the XX brochures. Business owner mentality says, I'm going to invest up front knowing that I'm going to get a return. I have given out so many samples of excess. But you know what? Selling 1 to 2 cases gives me that return on all those samples that I've put out. So the business owner mentality isn't, I'm going to give them a book and have them look through it. The key to selling is samples, samples, samples. Anything you want to sell, you have got to be willing to invest to give a sample. If your finances are a little tight, one of the things I recommend is take 1 month of your Ditto and get one of the 10-day supplies. Invest, I think it's like $20 for a 10-day supply. We'll take that 10-day supply, and if you're giving it to the right target audience, then the proper bell curve, older people with more money, with more expendable income, give it to the right person, they're going to buy a box the next month. Take that profit, reinvest it into another 10-day supply. Do that 4 months in a row. You've got 4 XX customers, 100 points in customer volume, and a huge profit. Do you think that's worth it? Absolutely. It's so easy. And if you're creating customer volume and you're putting the time, finances, and effort into it, make sure that you're doing it with the products that are going to give you the biggest return for your investment in all that area. The high PV/BV items, that's where you want to focus. So being out there, basically what's happened is my self-image. And here's the thing, there's a big difference between business self-image and regular self-image. The only thing that increases your business self-image is action. So while you're working on your personal self-image, just know that when you're out there taking action, regardless of what you're getting as a result, a good or not so good yet, you're raising your business self-image with every action that you take. And basically because, my business self-image has gone through the roof with all the customer volume, I've now transferred that into business contacts as well, because I'm just out there living my life. Some examples of what I say when I'm contacting, for the business. And I built the business single, and so I was doing a lot before, but then when we got married, I was like, the roles change, right? Women do volume, guys show the plan. Wrong if you want to grow fast. When I think of what is my role is to do anything and everything possible in my power on a daily basis to grow our business. And that means contacting, that means showing the QI, that means follow-ups if he's not available. Whatever I do, we are a team. We are going diamond together. So just some examples of what do I say when I'm out there. I'll be in general conversation, and I'll say, well, what do you do? Really? My husband owns a couple businesses, and I know he's looking to expand. I know he works with some guys that work in your field. Give me your card, and I'll pass it on. Life's all who you know. And then they'll give me a card, and I'll pass it on to Brian. Another example is the same kind of thing. I'll just guide the conversation in saying something like, where are you from? Really? My husband is looking to expand business up there. With him. Do you have a card I could pass on? And, I couldn't promise you anything. Maybe he'd give you a call. Yeah, sure. Hey, give me his card. And now, of course, you're always going to have those conversations that you're talking and it's you just can't, you're having a hard time making the transition. It's just not flowing. You guys have ever had that conversation? It's just not happening. So what I do is, because in my mind, I'm not losing a contact. I'm just not going to do it. The sharp dude is not walking away from me. So I will say, listen, I'm not sure if you keep your options open, but my husband owns a couple businesses and he's looking to expand. You remind me so much of the got your card and pass it on to him and see if maybe he could give you a call? And they give the card. It's so simple. And, you have to understand the mentality of this is just how business works. Ladies, this is how business works. And this was hard for me because I'm thinking job mentality. People don't talk to each other. You show up, you go home. Business owners network constantly. If he was a lawyer and I was talking to somebody and they said, they need a lawyer, the first thing I do was recommend my husband. And so I'm a business owner. I recommend my husband in the expansion mode. So it's so easy. It's very normal is what I'm trying to tell you. Once we get the contact, two things will happen. Either I'll pass it on to him and he'll call and set the appointment up. You're talking to my wife, blah, blah, blah. Or a lot of times he's really busy and his calendar's packed and so forth. I'll make the phone call and I'll just say, hey, so-and-so, we met the other day and I got your number. Listen, I talked to my husband. He said he would love to meet you. Why don't we sit down at a Starbucks for about 15, 20 minutes? We don't know you, just so we can get to know you. And we'll give you a quick rundown and see if maybe we can work together. We've got Tuesday at 7 or Thursday at 8. Which works best for you? And I'll book the appointment, and then Brian and I will go together to show the QI. So talking about your business is the absolute easiest thing in the world when you are constantly in the mode of building your business. Your business is your life. You're going to have a really hard time succeeding if you're trying to live your life over here and then flip on, I'm a business owner over here. Every day, everywhere I go, everything I'm doing, I'm thinking about my business. Who needs me? Who needs me? Where can I help? And here's the thing is, a lot of times the women will get so caught up, well, do I need to focus on volume or do I need to focus on contacting? The answer is both, absolutely both, because I believe that whoever brings into my path, they're either going to fall into the bell curve of customer or prospect. And so my eyes are wide open to everybody that comes into contact with me, and it's just that I had to finally learn how to get over myself to make the initial contact and start talking to that person. And what you'll find out there, guys, is that people want what you have, and they're more afraid of you than you are of them. If you're just nice, they're going to respond nice back to you, and they're going to appreciate it. And they have no idea what door you're opening up for them to change their life. But it's so worth just getting over that fear, just going out and doing something, because nothing happens until you just do something. And so with that, I'm going to bring Brian back up. I'm just excited to be 100% business owner in everything we do, and I'm excited about us going diamond together.
It's called Southern wisdom right there. Nothing happens till you do something. Like that? I wrote that on the last line there. I was laughing. I wasn't laughing at her. She saw me laughing. She had a giant smiley face at the end of her notes. So I like to graffiti her notes sometimes and get a hold of them and stuff like that. Karen made, I don't know if you guys can see this, but real quick, visual. I'm real simple, all right? So here's Brian and Karen. This is our life. Our business is in that circle. It's not over here. So many people, like she said, trying, hey, I have a life and this, that, and the other. If somebody, again, I just relate stuff to sports. If somebody's trying to make it in the NFL right now, they're doing two-a-days, they're at training camp and everything else, trying to become an NFL player or being an NFL player is part of their life, their schedule, their thought process. They have to think about their nutrition. They have to think about their workout schedule. They have to think about their finances and all these things, the endorsements and stuff like that. It's not they're living their life. And oh, by the way, I'm an NFL player. We come into this business with job mentality, and that's the way you do jobs. I love having a job that at 5 o'clock I can flip the switch and turn it off. But as an entrepreneur, you don't do that. And it's so much easier when you're just living your life every day. And And Karen will even meet people with like excess. She has this guy, she's working like depth. They were drawing up here depth. She's working depth now with customers. It's awesome. She's got this guy at the gym. He's older and he's bought a lot of products and he owns a mortgage business, which is good people to talk to today. But anyway, he's got this young guy who's like 23, 24 that works with him, and Karen took him some excess and took him some double X information, and she was like, oh, this is somebody who needs to meet my husband. Okay, this is somebody when he just bought double X and excess from my wife to my businesses that we're putting together. Because a lot of people are like, well, how can you create customers and won't they just think all we do is run around and sell? We've never had a problem with that. Because when she does it, by the way, if you compliment people, it's the best way to become friends with somebody. Hey, you know what? How long you been in the mortgage business? Well, about 2 years and stuff like that. Well, hey, this is just kind of a shot in the dark. My husband works with some very wealthy entrepreneurs. They have a lot of business projects that they're working together, and a lot of times an out for her if they ask, well, what exactly does he do? Well, he does some endorsements for some major companies. I don't really have the details of everything, but I do know this. He's always talking about trying to find ambitious people out there, and you just don't stumble across them every day. You got a card? I'll pass it on to my husband. What guy out there in his right mind, or woman out there in her right mind would say, no, I'm not ambitious. I'm not who you're looking for. That's one I look back and when my cousin called me on the phone, he said, Brian, I know you're very ambitious because you're already in graduate school. My mother was talking to your mother. You're doing very well. You're just the guy who might be able to head up some of these projects back in Virginia. Do you know what I thought? Of course I'm the guy who could head up some projects. I know what he's doing. I didn't care. I was like, well, of course I am. That's very obvious to everybody who's ever met me that I would be. And everybody thinks that way. We all have an ego a little bit. She's very good at just using that, knowing that, and also remembering this, that people are looking out there like never before. Okay? There's nobody, I was talking about our company and stuff like that. Do you know in our department, we're the fourth most profitable company in the United States, behind the oil companies. Go figure. Okay? But anyway, behind those guys, do you understand that we've still downsized people since January? Because the budget they handed us from Charlotte, there was no way we could fit the 80-some employees in our department into that budget. And we broke all kinds of records in 2006. They came up from Charlotte, the bigwigs, threw us a big party, gave us year-end bonuses, several $1,000 year-end bonuses. And people, I'm doing good. They came to work in January 2 weeks later, and we had to eliminate 8 of them. 10%. Congratulations, but new budget this year. Sorry for what you did last year and breaking all kinds of records and giving the extra effort. But everybody knows that. You can't. So what I'm saying is everybody's looking out there, okay? So keep that in mind. By the way, is everybody nice and everybody do you want to sponsor? No. Here's how contacting and talking to people is easy for us. We just talk to people who are nice. If somebody, give me that, oh, that's nice, your husband owns business, that's great. Well, tell them I said good luck. She doesn't then try and turn it into a contact. But when people are very inquisitive, what are you doing? That means they're looking. If somebody asks me what I'm doing, I know that they're looking, or why would they even ask? Well, what are you guys doing? So in living my life, I like to talk about the team. I like to talk about the man, not the plan, okay? I'll tell people all the time, when I met Brian Palmer at the gas station, here's what I simply said. I said, you're from Boston, and I mentioned this earlier. I said, today, here's what I'd tell. I work at Bank of America. But through my contacts there, Brian, here's one of the things that I realized in life. It ain't what you know, it's who you know. Do you know why I say that statement to almost everybody I meet? Because it's a statement nobody's ever said, no, it's not. Everybody agrees with it. You're right. Everybody's looking to meet the right person who could get them in life where they want to go. Okay? That's what I found with this business team. I found an incredible company in Quickstar and incredible products, but that's just a gym. If you don't know how to use the equipment, that gym ain't going to get you in shape. If somebody works out and they're eating ho-hos on the way home, they're wondering, well, why ain't I losing weight? It's because I tell people all the time, I'm in worse shape today than I was 8 years ago when I joined the gym. Because I don't go. But if I have a nutritionist and I have a personal trainer and stuff like that, I'm going to get a lot more out of it. So it's knowing the right people. So that's what I talk about. When I met my buddy Mike at the softball game, here's what I told him. I said, man, I've just started working at, this was before Bank of America, just started working at University of Richmond. But dude, what I'm excited about, Mike, is, man, I bumped into the right people. Who'd you bump into? So I bumped into a team of entrepreneurs who are doing a bunch of expansion up here in Richmond, and man, they were looking for somebody from this area, and I'm like, man, I'm your guy. Well, what are they doing? Well, they're doing endorsements for some major companies, helping some companies transition online, and I tell you what, Mike, I don't have a lot of time now, but give me your number, man. We'll catch up, man. So when I meet somebody, it's just very simple, very matter of fact, and even here's what I'll do. When I was new and getting started, one of the things that I did, Devin, is I talked about the team. I didn't want to put nothing on me. It kept people from asking me questions. Just getting my foot in the door, working with these guys. I don't have the details on all the stuff that they're doing, but I can tell you what, they're working with some major companies, and these jokers are making a lot of money. Do you use slang like that? Absolutely. I'm a normal guy. When I meet you, it's just normal conversation. I don't, hi, I'm Brian, and I have a business opportunity. I would have been like, dude, and do I want to be? No, I don't want to hang out with you. Now, if somebody's a little bit older, it's called mirroring. It's called reading books, okay? If somebody's a little bit older and stuff like that. But I can talk to anybody because I'm talking about the team. So, Devin, when I was new, I was saying, hey, listen, I'm just starting to get my foot in the door with these guys. And you know what I realized? Dude, it ain't what you know, it's who you know. I had the opportunity to meet the right people through my cousin, man. He introduced me to some wealthy business owners, and I'm just starting to help them out. Hey, here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do for you, bro. Put your number down, and here's what I can do. I can't promise you nothing. I'll pass your number along to these guys and see if maybe, hey, man, I'll put in a good word for you. Do you know how many people she said that to? She got 11 wide right away. That's exactly what she was doing. Is, hey, look, you know what I'll do? I'll pass your number on to these guys. Maybe they'll give you a call. They were calling Karen back a week or two later saying, hey, man, are they going to hook me up? What's going on? They were upset if we didn't call them right away. Versus, what are you doing? I don't have the details, but I can tell you what. I'm just starting to find out some stuff. As I get some more information, I'll pass your number. Hey, if I find out that they need any more help, I'll see what I can do. Maybe I can introduce you to these guys. It's called posture with people skills. And everybody out there is like, yeah, dude, hook a brother up, man. Let me know what's going on. So we teach that to people, and that's what I do. John, that's what I do all the time. It's just, hey, man, I don't know how many of these guys, how many more people they're looking for, but I tell you what, if I find out they are, I'll see if I can't get these guys. And then what I do is I have new people bringing numbers of their buddies. They're hanging out with their buddy. Let me go to a QI. When I call somebody, like if I call somebody, sir, your name? DJ. DJ almost forgot it so hot. He's like, dude, I don't know. Just let me out. Devin, you know DJ? All right, you guys buddies? All right, you with the upline, or are you going to register? Okay, you brought, look at him. He's great. They're mine. They're my people. Yeah. I'm with you. I always got a new guy. I got a front row, baby. That's why you can't leave, right? He's like, no. Sit there. It's going to get good. Promise you. It's going to get good. DJ, if I'm working with DJ, I teach DJ to say just that. If I'm sitting down with DJ, I'm going to call, it's Devin, right? Devon. I was all over it, sorry. But I asked because I wasn't real sure. All right, Devon. I'm going to call Devon. Here's what I'm going to say to Devon on the phone call, okay? Off DJ's list. You guys are buddies? How do you know each other, DJ? High school? You guys went to high school together? All right. You can tell me the truth about this guy in a little while, right? All right. I would simply call and say, hey, Devon, we've never met yet, but I'm actually sitting here with your buddy DJ right now. I own several businesses in town, and I'm working with a team of entrepreneurs, and DJ might be helping me out a little bit to make some extra money outside of what he's doing, okay? And he found out that I might possibly be looking for some extra people. You know what he did? He insisted that I give you a call. Devon, I can't promise you anything, but here's what I'd be willing to do. Why don't the three of us catch up maybe 15, 20 minutes, okay, casual, just go over a couple concepts, and hey, you know what? If we relate on a couple things, I have a business workshop set up on Thursday night. I'll see what I can do about introducing you to our team of multimillionaires that I'm working with, or the team of entrepreneurs that I'm working with. And it's so casual that it's like, yeah, okay. Now, I know what he's going to do. He's going to call him back. Put DJ on the phone. By the way, I like using DJ's phone. Why? Because he answers DJ's phone. He don't answer Brian's number. It's an 804 number. I love it. It's my favorite thing to do, man. Devon will pick up the phone. What up, DJ? I'm like, no, this is actually, who? And I'll laugh. I'll say, like, dude, I got you, didn't I? So this is Brian, and I'm actually sitting down with DJ. He was introducing me by a guy named Mark, and hey, look, here's why I'm calling. Oh, okay, yeah. Hey, thanks, man. Do you know what he's going to do? He gets him back on the phone. Hey, thanks. What's going on here? Dude, this joker's making some money. I'm going to be at that Starbucks to get the details myself. He doesn't need to know the details. I teach all my new people. You don't have the details. I'm meeting him to get the details as well, man. I try to do everything I could to get this guy to sit down with you. Hey, man, you might want to look sharp when you meet this guy. Now, I don't tell him to wear a tie, none of that stuff. Man, we're catching up at Starbucks, but his buddy, it's expectation. When I do the QI, when I sit down with Devin at the QI, Devon, daggone it. Just like an open meeting, ain't it, baby? Want to show the... On, I got it, baby. It's on. The green light's on. We got our next platinum right on the front row. Man, how much more? All right, 22 minutes. Don't worry. We're almost done. He's like, what? Devon, okay, when we're sitting down at Starbucks, here's what I'm going to tell him. Guess what? He doesn't know me, does he? Isn't that kind of weird that he doesn't know me or some stranger sitting across the table? I let him know it's weird to me as well. So I'm getting on the same side of the table with Devon. I'm like, Devon, hey, look, sitting down with DJ and you, here's the deal. We have a business workshop set up on Thursday night. By the way, that's by invitation only and limited seating. He's hoping to get an invitation to this workshop, the plan, the open meeting, whatever you call it, all right? Devon, here's my goal. Number one, I don't know you. My goal, number one purpose, is just to sit down with you, and I'd rather do it casual than in some business meeting. I'm relaxing him. It's called setting him at ease. I was showing a lot of plans one time, and I went to my upline emerald, Tim Yoakley. I said, man, it just ain't working. He said, what are you doing? I said, man, I'm in timing, man. You said 15 minutes, and I was timing. I was 11. Bam, 11. 11 minutes. He said, you're throwing up on people. I'm like, hey, they're doing this, they're doing this, they're doing this. Want to do it? They're like, what in the world just happened? So I learned that you got to set people at ease. My QI only lasts about 12 minutes. A couple concepts. I may sit down with you about 5, 6. How do you guys know each other? High school. Uh-oh. Y'all ain't run around together in high school, did you? Yeah. So you can tell me really about DJ if you wanted to. Now, I know you don't want to because he's got dirt on. I'm just having fun with him. I'm relaxing them with me as well. All right? Say, look, here's what happened to me. When I was in graduate school, I was introduced to a wealthy team of entrepreneurs. Devon, here's one of the things that I learned very early in life. It ain't what you know, it's who you know. You got to know the right people to make it in anything. Why do I say that? Because every single time, 10 times a week, the person across the table, they said, yep, you're exactly right. Now he wants to go meet the people. I've had people stop me right there and say, what do I got to do to get in the meeting? What do I got to do to meet these people? I have no problem getting people to a meeting because I never ask them, do you want to come? They're hoping they can get into the workshop. See the difference? I never said at the end, now do you want to come and get more information? I don't know. I have no idea what you just showed me. I'm not sure if I will. Let me go home and think about it. He doesn't have enough information to think about it. Okay? Why do we do the QI? So he's set at ease when he walks in and sees all you guys. I let him know. And it's a filter. What it does, the phone call finds out, are they looking? Yep. Here's what I tell new people. Okay? DJ, if you talk to 4 people and 3 of them don't want to sit down, shut up and quit talking to people because you ain't saying what I'd say. Why? Because everybody's looking. All right? So watch this. The phone call's a filter. The QI is a filter. It gives people an opportunity who aren't really looking or who are lazy or it would be very frustrating for you to try. Here's what I'm telling you, DJ. You don't want to actually sponsor every human being out there. You want to sponsor ambitious people. So if he shows up at the Starbucks at the time, that's a green light from me. I might have found somebody I'm looking for. I don't care about somebody's background because the only thing we're looking for is ambition and teachability. That's it. Ambition and teachability. Ambition means here's where you are in life, here's where you'd like to be, and you're willing to do the work to get there, okay? Teachability means there's a program in place that's already working. If you follow the program, it'll work for you. That's all we're looking for. So when I do the QI, here's what I'm setting him at ease, and I'm basically saying, look, Devon, I'm going to go over a couple concepts. I'm basically going to give you an outline of what my business partner, wait till you meet this guy. He's been retired for several years or outside of what he's doing full-time at a job, depending on where they are, the person who's showing the plan. He's creating an additional $50,000 to $60,000 in his spare time. He's going to go over more details at each one of these points. I just want to give you an overview. So if you want more information about a couple of these concepts, I'll see what I can do about getting you a seat in our workshop. Is that fair enough? Yeah. And I go over a little bit of passive income. Here's the companies these guys have been able to contract with, and here's the projects that they're working on. Outside, part-time, spare time, if you follow their system, it's an additional $40,000 to $50,000. Devon, you know what I told my cousin when he told me that? I said, I'd like to be making half that amount of money in my spare time. And they laugh about it, you know what I'm saying? I said, no, this might not even be for you, but this is for people who want to make serious cash. They're teaching residual 6-figure income. Devon, I didn't know what residual was. I didn't care. I knew what 6 figures was. Today, I'm a lot more excited about residual than the amount. Residual means you do the work one time, okay? And so I said, Devon, out of what I went over here, okay, and I'm expounding on each one. It was about 12 minutes. Out of what I went over here, obviously you need to get more information. I do the assumptive close. Everybody's a little bit different. You need to get more information. Here's what I'm going to do. That workshop, depending on what you wear in your workshop, or if it's at somebody's house, no big deal. Okay, if it's 9 people at a house, that's just as good as 500 people in a hotel room. I think we're getting together. Here's the address. Okay, I'm going to call you tomorrow night at the latest to let you know if I was able to get you a seat into that workshop. Why am I doing that? Posture. You know what? Number 2, he's going to forget. He's not living by a calendar. It's not. They're unaccountable. No. They're just not used to not having to schedule something after work. They're in a routine. They just forget. It's not always accountability. It's just they've been driving this way home for 9 years, and all of a sudden they got to take a right. I'd forget too. So Devon would say, look, I'm going to meet you there. Listen, in my meeting, we have ties, okay, suit and ties, okay? Not if it's in a house meeting, but if it's in one of our bigger workshops. So I'll let him know. Devon, you wear what makes you feel comfortable, but I'm going to have a tie on. You may want to kind of dress to impress when you meet the business team. He's going to be borrowing ties to show up. All right? I don't tell him he's in a selection process or anything like that, but you know what? He feels that way. He's like, man, you know what he feels like? It's an honor that DJ introduced him to me. And I say, when we're done, here's all you need to bring. Notepad and pen. Write down the 4 to 5 things that interest you most. We'll loan you some material, and we'll set up a time next day or 2 afterwards. It's Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Sometimes I'll book the follow-up before they've seen the plan. By the way, after the plan's over, I never ask somebody, what do you think? If they were thinking, they'd already be an entrepreneur and be self-employed, okay? For real in our system, okay? What did you like most? Write that down. Now, you're already thinking of people, Devon. You're already thinking of people. Jot those people down. If you're like me, I was like, yeah, I got that concept. That makes sense. Well, you know what I wanted to know, DJ? And this is what I'm telling the prospect. DJ, here's what I want to know. How is that going to work for me? When we get back together tomorrow, you write down the things that interest you the most, and I'll give you a personalized game plan to how it matches up with what you want out of the business. So he's thinking of and you're probably, if you're like me too, you're thinking of a lot of people that could use an extra $40,000 to $50,000, right on? Yeah, write them down. I know they're in your cell phone today, but write them down so I can give you a game plan, okay? Matter of fact, I'm going to teach you how to get those people here next week to see what you've seen. That's my job, not your job. And I reinforce that. And by the way, do you guys hand out CDs when they walk out, a CD to listen to when they leave a meeting? Do you guys do that? Yeah. Okay, here's one of the things that I do with the CD, because for a while, all my prospects were doing DJ is throwing that on the back seat and cruising home, and they forget. But here's one of the things that I'll do. Listen, you got a 15-minute drive home, a half-hour drive. Listen, I take it out. It's the CD. They have to physically put it back in the sleeve if they don't want to listen to it. All right? I have a very high rate of people listening to the CD on the way home because I take it out. There's some people in the LTD, they say, young people, they say, hey, just for fun, stick your finger out. Guy's like, boom, he slides that CD on there and says, listen to that on your way home. All right? It's kind of goofy to me, so I don't do that, but here's what I'll do, DJ. I'll take it out of the wrapper. I'll say, listen to this on your way home. You're not going to believe this, and I promote that speaker. It's 20 minutes. By the time you get home, you'll have already listened to it. Because if they leave that meeting and then they listen to a CD that your uplines recommend, your mentors recommend, listen to, your sponsor ratio goes through the roof. Now, when we're sitting down, okay, first question I want to know is, man, what interests you most about what you saw last night? What interests you? Well, I don't know, man, the money, you know what I'm saying? I mean, what would you do with the money, man? Having some fun. Forget about our business. Forget what's underneath the cup here. An opportunity to make an additional $50,000, okay, what would you do with the money? I do this, I do that. Let me ask you this. You say you like to get out of debt. You like to, I don't know, man, depending on the age of the person you're talking to. I told my cousin I wanted a new car. He said, how many people you know want a new car? How many people do you know? Man, all of them. Okay, now watch this. If we don't talk to them, you saw that room, right? Somebody's going to talk to them. Might as well be us, right? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you in the next 7 days, 6 days, get people back there next week to see this again, or in 2 weeks, whenever that meeting is. All right? Do you know how I can do that? Because the people that you'd like to make extra money are in your cell phone right now. Not all of them are going to have ambition. Don't worry about that. We'll practice on those people. I want to let them know that not everybody's going to do this. I don't care. But there's some people in there that they're going to lead to their cousin in Orlando, Florida, is going to put 500 people in this thing. You understand it still goes through you, right? Well, yeah. So watch this. I'm going to go to work for you. Now, this is a guy who's a green light. He's excited. DJ, I'm just going to say, hey, all right, let's write down the top 20 of those people in your cell phone, all right? You just skip past 2 people. Go back. Who is that? Well, that's my mama. Write her down, okay? We're not going to call her, but write her down. We're going to help. I'm going to teach you how to get her to be a customer. Well, that's my aunt that lives in Idaho. Write her down. We're going to get her to be a customer. Oh, that's my boy, but he's in college, man. He's doing good. That's what I want to talk to. $80,000. I know he hates it. Let's talk to him, okay? And I don't say that to him. All right, so I want to find out who he knows. I've had people right now that during my follow-up, DJ, you got a cell phone? All right. Do you ever get text messages? Yeah. All right. Your generation, I'm 37. I got guys right, I used to think that they weren't listening to me because they're text messaging while I ain't even got to look at the keys. I'm like, who are you texting? This is my buddy Danny, man. I'm telling him that I'm in a meeting right now. Text him this. Say, look, man, I'm sitting down with this guy. He owns several businesses. He's making all kinds of money, man. Let me hit you up in a minute. 5 minutes later, his cell phone rings. He wants to know who he's talking to. You know what he does? He hands the cell phone to me. He says, is this Danny? Yeah. DJ just told me he text messaged you. Look, man, he was like, this is my buddy, man. You got to talk to this guy. And I'm going to book a QI right there. I want to show him right away how fast the business could work. I got a guy in Michigan who had a guest at a meeting on Wednesday night. He just sent me a message today, okay? He's listened to all 6 CDs that he handed out to him, but watch this, all right? He's already got 6 QIs set up for the guy. The guy hasn't even seen QuickStart yet. We do talk about the name and all that other stuff, all right? But my goal is to get their business launched as fast as possible. Why? For them and for me. Because if I'm giving somebody something to lose. Has Brad ever taught you guys that you don't have somebody started till you got somebody started for them? You ever heard that before? Sure. And with technology today, John, we can do it right away. Now, I may spend more time with them later on developing that list of names, but as soon as possible, I want to start booking QIs for them, and the numbers are right there in their cell phone. Now, here's one of the last things that I'll do. I'm going to draw out the fact that here's DJ, and DJ, your buddy Danny. Do you understand that when Danny goes 7,500 points, you have to have a little bit of volume outside of that, but when he does, it's 4%. It's roughly about $1,000 a month the rest of your life coming to you. DJ, how old are you? 17. Dang, I'm bad at math, so let's round up to 20, okay? That's good stuff. Do you know what I'd pay to be learning this stuff at 17 years old? You kidding me? DJ, I know this is contrary to everything you've been taught, but education is vital. But everything you're going to need to learn, you're not going to learn in a biology lab at some college, okay? I spent $35,000 in 7 years of my life learning how to make 32. That's stupid. And I got a whole team of young lawyers. I went up to Michigan. There's like 5 guys brand new in the business. They're making between, watch this, you guys ready? Brad, between $40,000 and $60,000. The high rollers making 60. $40,000 to $60,000. They owe $120,000 in student loans. They pay $1,200 a month for a student loan payment. That's a mortgage with no house. And their same 3 years, you understand, $50,000? But anyway, that's a tangent. I'm sorry. Watch this. Here's Danny. $1,000 a month. That's over $750,000 over the rest of your life for one good name. DJ, I believe. How many people you got in your cell phone? Bingo. Why do I talk to young people? He's got 300 names and numbers in his cell phone. Now, I like a balanced team. I'm not looking for just 17, 18, 19, 21-year-olds. But all those 300 people have older siblings. All 300 of them have cousins. All 300 of them have parents who aren't any close. You know what I love to do? Sit down with their parents. I say, Miss DJ, look, it's Brian McGrath. I'd like to sit down with you, give you a little bit of overview. DJ's just starting to help me out, but I'd like you to meet the people that DJ's going to be working with. That's important for parents to know, and it's a set of ease, and it's great. Oh, DJ, that's pretty interesting. Why don't you come out, Miss DJ, and come to our meeting because I'd really like you. We got a guy who's in his mid-40s. He was a top salesman, chemical salesman, all over. That's exactly how I approached this guy's dad. I said, Mr. Vari, this is Brian McGrath. I'm working with a team of entrepreneurs. Your son's in college, and he's going to be helping us out in Greensboro, but I'd like you to see what your son's taking on, okay? I'd like you to meet the people. So I gave him an overview, and I told him, I said, now here's what this is an overview, Joe. I really need you to come to our business workshop, not for you, but for your son. At the end of that, he's like, because he had status. He's a dad. He's in the back of the room. He's like, I kind of like to listen to that CD on the way home. I said, I think that'd be an excellent idea. He's way more excited about this than his son is now. So he's got 300 people. I promise you, you got 6 people in your cell phone that not in May, I bet you are going to go 7,500 points in this business. They're going to do it on somebody's team. It might as well be us. So what do? How do you get those numbers? Hey, look, man, I was at this workshop on Saturday. Where you been all day? I guarantee you this, your cell phone's ring since you've been here. No doubt, 300 people, somebody's calling you. It's Saturday night, you know what I'm saying? Somebody's calling him, right? All you simply do is call him back and say, my bad, dude. Look, I was around a team of entrepreneurs doing some business expansion, man. My fault, man. I missed your call. Sorry about that. I was around some guys that have just got it going on and making some money. You don't say another thing. You know what they're going to say? What? What are you talking about? Hey, look, man, these guys are doing some endorsement deals. Why do I talk about endorsements? Because a lot of young people relate that to a Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan. By the way, that's the way we make money. Jordan made a lot more money drinking Gatorade. Okay, LeBron James makes a lot more money wearing Nikes than he does Pumas. By the way, what is the probability he put Pumas on tomorrow and void his $90 million contract? Zero. It's the same probability of me brushing my teeth with somebody else's product. Because I'm a business owner just like he is. I make money the exact same way. And there's a lot of IBOs who don't understand that, and they'll go out here and try and sponsor somebody else to do volume versus themselves. That's living a lie, man. You can't do that. People see right through you. If you're just jacked up excited, people want to know what you're excited about. Karen's contact was, man, you ain't going to believe what I've just seen. Every human being that she talked to said, what have you just seen? Then this group of entrepreneurs are turning up. They're doing some business expansion here. They're helping some companies transition online. I tell you what I'm going to do, man. I'm going to see if I can't hook you up with these guys. Yeah, that's what we do. And I want to go through their cell phone right there because I tell them I want to help put a team of 10 people together for you as fast as possible. I want to help you go 1,000 points as fast as possible. Okay, why? I want to help you make some money right out the gate. And I can go to work with him, and I promise you, if I was working with you next week, you could have 15, 20 people in front of that meeting. Now watch this. Here's what's so awesome about the QI system. I'm done with this, okay? Here's what's so awesome about it. If I do 10 QIs for him in 1 week, I've just duplicated myself. How long would it take him to be as good as Brad on the board showing a plan? A long time. But I can teach him the QI, and afterwards we're sitting at Starbucks and say, here's what I did and here's why I did it. And I've done 10. You know what he's doing next week? You got a stack of them. I got a bunch of other buddies to catch up with. And now the second week in business, he's bringing guests to the meeting on his own, and I'm working in depth, and now there's 2 people in there. All right? We get Devon in there, and a week into it, he's trained on how to do the QI. Not how to set up dittos, not how to give web tours, not how to do all that stuff, but to get people in front of the speaker, he's trained within 1 week how to do it. 2 weeks tops if he lets me access his list of names, because he's with me. All right? And now we got DJ and Devon doing QIs and me. How much this thing can compound so fast. I believe this, that the further in depth your organization gets, the faster it should grow. I found that not to be the case, though. I found that not to be the case. A lot of times it was growing slower. Why? Because I wasn't training up people. I was doing 1 or 2 QIs for them a week. Why don't we do 10 to 15 with them their first week? You know what they're mad at? I love this. When I have guests at the open meeting, new guy, right? And he's sitting there, and, what's wrong with you? Ain't but 8 of these jokers showed up. I'm going to go find those other 4 people. They said they were coming, and they didn't show up. The guy's mad because he's got 8 guests at his second meeting. I had 8 guests my second year at a meeting. Now we got 3 or 4 people in there that are duplicating doing QIs. And they're doing 8, 10, 12 of them because it's only 15, 20 minutes. But I tell them, hey, look, I don't have but 15, 20 minutes. I'll just give you a rundown and see if I can't get you into our workshop. It's very casual. It's not in their face. It's just, and they're just waiting for that next call. And I just start that process over and over again. And I can teach a 6th grader how to do a QI. I could teach any 6th grader out there to say, hey, look, my uncle's doing this business. Here's a couple concepts he's going over. I'll see if I can't get you into my uncle's workshop. It's that simple. Simplicity equals duplication. Duplication equals wealth. Now, with that, last thing is this, you just got to dump CDs into those people. Dump CDs and invest in your people. Not spend. Investment. Best thing you can invest in is other people. Why? Because all of a sudden, how many of you guys like to have, and that DJ's on your team, he's got 300 people, and next week he's got 10 people on his team. How many of you guys like that? All right? Now listen to me. How many of you guys got the CDs to make sure each one of those 10 people get 4 to 5 CDs? If you ain't got it, it's hard to loan out. You want fast growth, but you really don't believe or expect fast growth. I had to prepare to build a big fire. I had to be ready for a DJ to sit in front of me. And when he was, if he was in Michigan, I was ready to roll. Because you understand, I don't need but 6 DJs, and I got the number 1 lifestyle in the world, and that's diamond. So I apologize for going over. How dumb do you have to be 100 degrees and still talk too long? That's just crazy. So here's the number 1 thing, man. Have fun.